Hey everybody, we back again.
We back. Yeah, we're
There it
live.
is. Every time. I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
You know him, you love him, you hate him, but you love him. You can't get it. It's a toxic relationship, Dr. Nas.
Yep, that explains it. That
Yep.
explains the
Explain.
whole thing.
Yep.
And this is a Different Spectrums podcast where we talk about movies, shows, and mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, in this episode, we don't have any guests, but let's go through our panel of collaborators. First, we have Bub's Naturals. Then we have Cure Hydration, Pinfinity, Silver Dollar Candle, and Two Nerds Candle Company.
Yes.
Uh, so we have a lot of great people that are working with us, and so please go check them out. And of course you get 20% off if you use our codes, or you can just click on our links in the link tree and just do that instead. But either way, you can get 20% off, so go check out all of
Check it
our
out.
great collaborators, because they do a great job. So um, also, go check out our merch. We have some great merch, as seen here. And why not go pick some up? Why not do it? Why not just go grab some merch?
Let's
You
do
know?
it.
Yeah. They look really good, and we put a lot of time and effort into them. So go check them out. All right. Without all the plugs now, we are going to be taking a look at a scene from X-Men Days of Future Past.
Who?
Exactly. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about ADHD symptomology. Also, we're going to be talking about people who present ADHD, whether they are neurotypical or neurodivergent. So we're going to be taking a look at a few things. And yeah, so with that, Nas, anything before we get into the scene?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, that's good. Do
I'm
that on
joking.
the show.
It's an ADHD joke. But as my one student said during my presentation last month, she goes, "You have dry humor, don't you, mister?" And I'm like, "What? Fuck you, kid."
Why are you calling me Mister? First of all,
Yeah.
what is this, the 40s? Hey, Mister,
Yeah. It's
come
like
get this newspaper. Like, what?
the crazy lady from Happy Gilmore. Mister, get me out of here. Aren't you that Mister lady? Salim still says that to this day.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Um, I'm excited to talk about ADHD. We got some ADHD coaches and therapists coming up in the
Mhm.
pod. One this week, so this will be released on a Monday. The following Thursday will be a guest, and there's a boatload of ADHD specialists that I'm going to have on the pod. Um, we just got we got to get them locked in on a date. Because, ADHD people, they make a date, they don't make a date, they forget that you DM'd them, and you know what I'm saying? It's a whole
Oh
fucking thing.
yeah, I totally forgot about that. I missed you like 5 minutes ago. How do you what
Yeah.
happened?
I know you
What
see
happened?
my number, girl. I know you see it.
You say you're busy, but you're just chilling by the pool. I don't get
You,
that.
you just made 10 posts. Look at my
Yeah,
DM.
yeah.
But it's hilarious. The other day we had someone cancel on us last
Yeah.
second for an ADHD pod, this pod. And I was like, this is the most ADHD thing that you could do. So I'm like, I'm
Yep.
not even mad.
Right before right before I'm supposed to get on. You're like,
Yep.
nah.
And he's like, no, I'm busy. All right. So we're gonna have a
Okay.
good talk today. We're gonna get to some basics and some case studies. And we're gonna talk a little shit.
Just a little bit.
A little
Just a little
bit.
bit.
A little bit. Okay. Woody whoop. Let's get in it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bub's Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show.
In 3 seconds, those doors are going to open, and 20 guards will be here to shoot us.
I know. That's what I'm waiting for.
What are you doing?
I'm holding your neck so you don't get whiplash.
What?
Whiplash. You're good. It'll pass. It happens with everyone. Must have done something pretty serious. What'd you do, man? What'd you do? What'd you do? Why'd they have you in there?
For killing the president. The only thing I'm guilty of is fighting for people like us.
You take karate? You know karate, man?
I don't know karate, but I know crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a code red situation. We are evacuating the entire floor so that we, my associate and I, can secure the prison. Who are you? We are Special Operations CBFECID. Look, perhaps you didn't hear me when first I spoke, but it's imperative that you understand we are in complete lockdown situation. We have to get you to the 3rd floor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you finished? They told me you control metal.
Hey?
You know, my mom once knew a guy who could do that.
Sorry, I'm just not very good with violence.
Charles.
Good to see you too, old friend. And walking.
No thanks to you.
You're the last person in the world I expected to see today.
Believe me, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have to. If we get you out of here, we do it my way. No killing.
No helmet. I couldn't disobey you even if I wanted.
I'm never getting inside of that head again. I need your word, Eric.
Nobody move! Hold it right there!
Charles?
Don't move! Hands up, or we will shoot!
Freeze him, Charles.
I come.
Hands up!
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with.
Just kidding.
Hey everyone, we are back again.
We're back and went live. Just as live as all the new stuffed animals I bought the other day.
Some may call that an addiction.
Story time.
Here we go. And it begins.
Real quick, everyone's going to love this. And I know they love when we get personal because they've been voting on Spotify. They love when we get personal.
Oh,
Shout out. Keep voting on Spotify.
Touch it.
Or little titch. So we go into Barnes and Noble because I go to see one of my boys' kids, Moses. And, you know, eventually my dad asked me, he's like, hey, God damn it, did you just have us come to Barnes and Noble so you could buy toys?
He knows.
I said, yep. He said, you son of a bitch, I ain't never letting you come back here again. We went in there to buy books for the boy, and I walked out with like 5 new stuffed animals. It's a good life.
Yeah, it's a great life.
A little 2-year-old pushed my dad, pushed my dad around the entire Barnes and Noble. I broke out in a full sweat trying to steer him so he didn't crash into the things.
He's like, I got this. All right, I got it. Yeah, I don't need any help. I got it.
Yeah, I know he got it. And then I had to nudge it. It was awesome. It was a blast. All right, story time done.
Okay.
ADHD right off the gate.
Already starting to get personal. So what we just watched was the scene from X-Men Days of Futures Past with Quicksilver running through I don't know, kitchen. Looks like a kitchen.
Rain.
Everything, he's going so fast, everything is in slow motion, and he's making sure that, you know, Magneto and Professor X and Wolverine don't get shot. So this movie is all about this plan to go back in time to rewrite history, to make sure that these sentinels that were sent out to kill all of the mutants and that have pretty much enslaved mutants and humans are never even made in the first place. And so that's pretty much the premise of the movie, where Wolverine goes back in time and he's trying to correct everything. That's why he has like his bone kind of claws instead of his
Titanium.
Was it?
Is it titanium?
Titanium. No, it's fudge. Fudge. Was it? I just heard it like 8 times.
Steel.
Wait a minute, folks. We're gonna go on a journey here because I already know people are probably like, I already know what it is.
I think it's made out of.
No, it's adamantium.
Fiberglass.
That's what it is.
Adamantium. Well, that was my next guess.
It's vibranium.
That's what I was going to say. But
I know. I was going to say too. I was like, that's not right. That's not right.
It's made out of nickels.
All the nickels we could find, we put it into Wolverine.
We got all the good nickel.
He doesn't have to pay for parking ever again.
Yeah, we got all, a couple pennies in there too now.
He would die. He's just copper. He's made of copper. But anyways, so yeah, he doesn't have his adamantium claws. And it was actually really cool because this was the first time since X-Men Last Stand, where they had the old crew back in the movie. Talking about Halle Berry as Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey, they all came back. So they pretty much rewrote the whole history for the last movie that everybody hated. So because everybody hated X-Men Last Stand and how it ended. So yeah. And then of course we see Quicksilver and Magneto. I love the scene because I kind of hinted at it, where Quicksilver's like, yeah, my mom knew somebody who could control metal and stuff.
Baby daddy.
Who? So yeah, if you don't know, in the comics, Magneto is Quicksilver's dad. So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Also, Nightcrawler is Mystique's son. So there you go. If you don't know Nightcrawler, he's a pretty cool character who can teleport everywhere. And he's
if
blue
you ever-
skin. Looks like a
there,
demon.
There you go. And if you ever see Bobby, tell that motherfucker I'm his daddy.
Bobby, you got a daddy. You may not be your father.
But you got a daddy.
I'm your daddy.
I do not have any kids, people. I'm sorry. I love you, Bobby.
Sure. Shout out, Bobby. That'd be great if there's a Bobby that looks exactly like you. Like, daddy. Like, no. No, Maury. Call Maury.
How did this happen? Motherfucker, you older than me.
You
You at least 50.
You're 50 years old, Bobby. What is happening here?
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much
ADHD today.
the movie.
I'm letting it all out today.
Yeah, you're letting all your kids out. All right, that didn't come out right. All right. So now we're gonna be taking a look at this scene. Talking about ADHD. So, Nas, why did you pick this scene?
Well,
Yes.
young man, let me tell you about ADHD. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Get to it. I'm trying. You keep interrupting me now.
You don't understand. Like, you just keep talking, so I just get distracted.
You know what?
ADHD.
And you're ugly too. You know, it's distracting me.
What the fuck?
I'm joking. Story time.
Get to the point. Damn.
Wait. This is really good. I was
right.
with a client the other day, and I was telling him the Barnes & Noble story,
Okay.
but for a different reason. And I got lost in the story and how I was playing with this puppet shark and like chasing the kid around the bookstore and wheeling my dad around the bookstore while I push him in the wheelchair and he chases the kid. I don't know how we're going to go to jail.
I would go insane. Like, I would go insane with all that happening. Like, why is this happening?
It was a lot. It was a lot. And I lost the point to the story that I was going to tell the girl.
What?
And then eventually I remembered it like 10 minutes later. Then I went back to the story and she's like, yeah, I could tell you got lost in that one. I was like, yeah I'm sorry.
ADHD, folks. ADHD.
And the whole reason why I brought up that story, right? Because as therapists, you're not supposed to bring up a lot of personal stories unless it has meaning to the person. And they said, they went on a date and, someone was crude or rude to them about something that she thought was really awesome, really playful. They bought these really cool nerdy bed sheets. They thought it'd be a funny joke. And the other person was like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? I was like, that sucks. And so I teach a lot of my humans to test people by being playful, by being joyful, or like somewhat competitive things. So basketball, you can go outside, you can play Uno, whatever it is. And I said, I got a story like that, right? The other day I went to go buy books and I ended up walking with, 5 stuffed animals. So, I mean, there are weird people out there like you. You just have to find them.
Right.
And after I obviously horribly messed up the story and forgot because of ADHD, I got back to it. So this scene, why did I pick it? Well, I remember a student recommended this specific scene to me a long time ago while we were doing the podcast, though. And I said, Nas, ADHD, we're talking about it. I said, that scene from X-Men, that's me. I was like, okay. So it's been on the back of my noggin to get to it. And then, so be it, the person canceled on us. No big deal. So me and you are going to do it. I think it's hilarious to think about how fast some people's minds can go and how everyone else is just standing still. I was jiving with a client or talking with a client. For those of you who don't know what jiving is. We get classic.
Naughty.
Yeah. So we were talking. And 30 minutes into it, my boy, ADHD and on the spectrum, I said, boy. I said, what? I said, you talk fast as hell. He said, yeah, everyone tells me that. I said, and I can keep up with you, but am I overwhelming you with all the questions? You sure know I quite like it. He said, no one ever keeps up to this pace. And I was like, well, shit, I can barely keep up. And so I met the human again, and I said, oh, you're more reserved today. So not more reserved. When I came in the first time, I had a lot of things that I wanted to say in a shorter period of time. So he's talking as fast as I am now. And so I needed to get it all out. That way you knew everything that you needed to know. And I was like, that makes sense. Because now we're going at a normal pace and we're like doing therapy instead of you just spewing a bunch of things. He said, yes, I'm not always that fast, but I do like to go fast. And he said, I also like to walk fast. And I said, yeah. So when we walked out, and I like to walk people to the door, I'm like, slow down now, damn it. You know I'm fast as hell. He said, I told you I walk fast. I'm like, yeah, you walk too damn fast, boy.
Slow it down now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a heart attack now. You know, I got diabetes.
Oh, I'm losing my balance.
Yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious. I love walking people outside of my office into the door. And I said, all right, we're going to go this way with this other kid. She's like, my car's the other way. I said, why you walk with me 5 minutes this way when you knew your car was the other way?
Want the company.
Yeah, she's just like, I just didn't want to make you mad. Why would that make me mad? I don't know.
As you're angry.
I was so angry. I'm so terrible to my neurodivergent clients. Perfect scene.
Yeah.
To show on how others will be on one level and folks that are ADHD may be on a different level. Great metaphor for many of you out there that think fast. Maybe a lot of you that got deep anxiety. So you could just be sitting there and chilling, and then, you know, you get that bill in the mail, or you get that text, or that shitty email you didn't want to read from someone, boss, whatever it is, partner, it doesn't matter. Your Spotify subscription's up. And then you start thinking. I tell you, the other day I went and hung out. I told you, Spence, with some friends, but I probably didn't tell you. And I should be nervous around them, but I caught myself replaying everything and cringing at a few things. I'm like, God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? I hate myself. Again, it's the spiral. Everyone else is standing still while I'm going through the tornado, the chaos. Right. So that's the scene. That's the validation, right? And the metaphor of it. Now let's have some fun. I'm going to kick it back to old Mr. The other day we were in the car, and I said, Dad, see that? Because it pops up now on the dashboard when it was Logic. I said, he looked like Spence too. He said he does. All right, Logic.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of any songs, so I just bopped my head. So not your personal story, not yet.
Yes.
What is you, someone that's not highly educated in ADHD and all these other different things, right? Just an average person. What do you know, or what have you heard like ADHD is?
I've mainly heard that it's pretty much, it's like you can't really keep focus on one thing. You kind of spread it out to multiple things, and that it's kind of like if you have, like, you're charging multiple phones. Sometimes not everything can charge fast on just one phone. Everything's kind of being charged slowly on each thing. So you may not be able to get through like certain tasks as fast as you want, because you get focused on something else so quickly. Like if I'm trying to do homework, but then I also like have a movie on in the background, and I'm like, oh, let me watch this for a little bit. Oh, let me get back to my homework. Oh, let me watch that. Oh, hey, maybe I have to do laundry. Oh, I gotta do that. So then you don't really have a focus on one thing. It's multiple things at one time.
Okay. Do you know some folks that kind of think like that, other than like me?
Multiple
people. You've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I'm just like, it's like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I do the same shit where it's like my mind, I'm trying to stay focused on one thing, but I can't. I'm just like thinking of other things. Like if I'm working out and then I have an idea for the pod, I'm like, yep, I'm stuck on this. I can't I have to go back home and I have to get this idea out before either it leaves or I just
Facts.
don't have that like momentum for myself because I may not have that energy to put into this or that enthusiasm to put into this.
Yep.
So I have to go back now or else it's going to be gone. So
It's a thing. So I still call it two separate things, ADD and
Mhm.
ADHD. But
Right.
all therapists now, they go by the new book, the new DSM. It's all ADHD. It's just all under the cover of ADHD. But specifically, the H is hyperactivity. Do you know
Mhm.
any folks that get that hyperactivity, the H in ADHD?
I think so. I think I know a few people that actually have
Do
that.
you,
Yeah.
they got the twitchies.
I've seen people with twitches, and I'm just like, what is that?
So it could be a vast majority of things. They could just be talking fast, moving fast, always fidgeting or hyperactive, interrupting, butting in, right? They're just people with the H, legit H. It's actually kind of a sad world in sometimes because some of the studies will show that after about 3 minutes, if you got legit the H and you're a little manic, people
Yeah.
will actually kind of cut you off and they'll isolate away from you because you're too much.
Oh wow. Yeah.
3
I get
minutes.
that. That was one of the things, like, Kelly Clarkson, she has her own like little show and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she does that a lot with her interviews. Like anytime like she asks a question, they answer a little bit and then she kind of butts in a little bit, which I've seen. And then I've seen a lot of people on their comments just be like, she has ADHD, so give her a break and stuff, which I'm like, it's fair, but at the same time, like, it's a job, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if
Be a
I sat
moderator.
here and I was like, hey, Nas, let me butt into your shit real quick. Exactly. So I get it, but at the same time, there's balances that you
There's
have to do.
balances. And it's tough for a lot of folks to do those balances. And you'll see that some folks with legit the H, they will feel a little
Mhm.
bit more isolated.
Right.
And we're going to spend time on the H right now. So
Mhm.
they'll feel a little bit more isolated. It's really hard to executive functioning and maybe doing some of their schoolwork or job work because the H, the manic, the hyperactivity, the boom, 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 boom. And so they might not be able to do all their tasks like Spencer said because they never really get to charge all the phones.
Mhm.
And so some things get left undone, unsaid. So we're talking like poor homework skills, study skills, like being more militant about things that you need to do. And it can lead
Mhm.
to poor grades, poor relationships. Which sucks because when you start to do bad at those two things,
Mhm.
then you feel dumb. You feel stupid. You feel like you're incompetent. Your imposter syndrome is to the max because you can't do these things that everyone else does. And so I had a young man come in, multiple humans come in, but one specifically, they sat there and they just said, "I'm stupid." I said, "Why are you stupid, boy?" And he said, "I can't do any of my work. I'm messing up on these tests. I need extended time." And I said, and then we kept talking and talking and talking. I'm like, "Hey, man, I think you got dyslexia."
Mm.
What's that? I said, "It's exactly what the fuck you just said." What do you mean? So then we went over dyslexia. We went over ADHD. We went over anxiety. We
Mhm.
wrote some paperwork. We got them accommodations at the school to get them extended times for exams.
Mhm.
Immediately, they started doing better because they knew that they're not crazy. They're not stupid.
Right.
Something's different with their brain to where they can't keep things straight. So that immediate validation helps. But man, people will get so lost into the disabling bit of the H.
Mhm. Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out.
I got a lot of students, and I love a lot of students, man. And Spence, some of the homies I used to work with at the old school, and a couple of my kids, super, super, super hyper, and they would overwhelm, just like me and you sometimes overwhelm some students. And they
Mhm.
would overwhelm other students because they're more reserved, more quiet, and they get overstimulated. Well, some of the
Right.
students with 88, legit the H in ADHD, can overstimulate neurotypicals, which is specifically some neurodivergence.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to shame anyone here. I'm just letting you know, like, there's some yin and yang to this stuff. Now you go to folks with ADD, attention deficit, not the H, not the hyperactivity part. And that one can be a little bit more internal. So that's what also Spence says, charging multiple phones.
Hmm.
But you don't have the physical symptomology of hyperactivity. You're more just hard to focus, pay attention, hard to go through long tasks. It creates a lot of anxiety because, why can't I charge these phones?
Hmm.
And again, tense shame, guilt, letting people down, letting themselves down, feel stupid. And, it's hard to get therapists to diagnose you with ADHD because they think that you need to be disabled. I heard a doctor the other day, Spence, and I put this on Threads. I heard him talking to another therapist, and he said, if you got ADHD, you wouldn't even be in college. It's like, what the fuck? You know how many people got ADHD and that are in college and successful? I mean, you're looking at one right now with the doctorate. You sound
Yeah.
stupid.
Hmm.
Well, you don't get diagnosed with ADHD late in life. I'm like, the stuff that some of these doctors and some of these therapists said are so ableist. And I'm not trying to be like super, super progressive and all this stuff, but some of it is very ableistic. And you think that everyone needs to be disabled and eating fucking Legos to get a diagnosis.
Right.
You think that someone needs to be throwing shit at the wall to get a diagnosis. You think someone needs to be suicidal to get a diagnosis.
Right.
But as soon as a student like self-harms, you give
Hmm.
them a diagnosis real quick.
Right.
As
Which,
borderline personality, which is very sus and very derogatory. But God forbid they get any diagnosis like I do. Affirm
right.
people, get them the resources, and they're good.
Right. Which it's like you're supposed, like, that's your job, is to do it before something happens, is to diagnose something before something like an incident happens, or else it's like, why even do it in the first place?
More
Then
preventative.
anybody can do that. Anybody can like diagnose after a fact, like after something happens, right? But you're trying to pre-diagnose before something like that escalates to a whole nother level.
Yeah, why
So
wait? Why wait? If you think it's there, start educating the kid now.
yeah,
Do some investigation. Don't just rule it out immediately.
right.
So the ADD and ADHD, if you follow certain doctors or student scientists, they think that there's 7 different types. I follow Dr. Heyman's book.
Mhm.
One of the lead neuroscientists in the world. You can follow him on Instagram and all that stuff. I'll probably tag him in some of these things. And I got a screener, 70 question screener for ADHD. It can't diagnose you, but it gives you some real insight. It's in the link tree under the screenings tab for the self-help stuff. So check that out. 70 questions. You can go through it as self. It's a Likert scale, which means 0 to 4. 4 being the highest, 0 meaning you ain't got nothing. The first question says, are you easily distracted? For me, that's a 3. 4 would be like, you're so easily distracted you can't get back on focus. Yeah, for me, I get distracted, but I can come back.
Right.
Go through that screener, and then if you want to give a blank copy to one of your partners or friends or family members, you can have them fill out the other form. Then you combine the scores, or you don't combine them, but then you just tally the scores separately, and you look and see where you're at.
Yeah.
Very helpful when I'm working with folks that are neurodivergent, because it can also, if you look at that form correctly, you can look to see if you have depression, you can look to see if you have anxiety in there or bipolar disorder, because it's all kind of correlated in this thing. Therapists can figure that out, maybe not everyone else, but
And where can you find this?
in our link tree, you're going to go into under the self-helps breakdown, you're going to click on assessments, and they're going to click on a little Google Drive that says ADHD screener.
There you go. There you go.
Yep, it's free.
Nice.
But you can leave a tip if you want, like others have. So that's appreciated. $2. I'll take 2.
One, two.
Just 2. So I find it very interesting that many of the doctors and other therapists, first you have to suss out, is it legit ADHD
Mhm.
or is it anxiety? And why do I bring this up? Because a lot of folks will talk about, well, I get distracted and I procrastinate. And I procrastinate, and then, I get shit done all at the end, last second. And I don't want to keep doing that because, I'm screwing things up and I get more anxious. So that actually could be an anxiety thing. So we usually, as therapists, need to backtrack, Spence, and we need to find out, all right, are you avoiding this homework because it sucks and you don't want to do it? Because that's not ADHD. That's just, it really sucks and you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Are you insecure about it? Are you scared that you're not going to know the information? It's going to take a really long time? Or do you think that you're already going to fail anyways? So what's the point of studying? We need to decipher why you're procrastinating before we just slap on a diagnosis. Because I don't want to make you take meds for anxiety or depression or stimulants before we actually figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So you got to break down all these reasons on why people are avoiding, because avoidance is part of anxiety. I usually like to tell students, hey man, let's figure out this anxiety first. ADHD, you probably get better. Your focus, motivation, concentration will get better. And maybe you don't need to do any of these stimulants, because these stimulants can fuck people up.
Right.
It can make you, if you're bipolar, it can ramp you up into mania, so you can't take those. If you're neurodivergent and very obsessive already, it could make you more obsessive. If you're really, really anxious and obsessive, or let's say you legit have OCD, it can make you more OCD. Has some heart issues after a while. I've seen some of my clients that legit were ADHD, and it started causing some brain issues. And they started to get real angry and violent with people, and then they started having seizures.
Wow.
Because it activated too much of the temporal lobe. So we had to back off of that, and then we had to go on different meds called Strattera, which is a non-stimulant anxiety/depression med, mostly a depression med. Most of the other countries in the world, they don't give out Adderall, Focalin, Vyvanse, and Ritalin. Those are the stimulants. They usually give out Strattera because it's safer. And it's not like part of these meth and these amphetamines and all that crazy shit. A lot of college students abuse them. So that's some of the stuff about meds. But the biggest thing is that anxiety is getting that under control and see if you can focus. Most of the time, we both will agree that they're ADHD. We get the anxiety control, and then we're like, fuck, let's try the meds. Let's try the legit anxiety meds. So we usually start with, depression meds. Wellbutrin or Effexor. Effexor is the big brother. The new version is called Prestique. A lot of neurodivergent folks take Prestique. It's I think it's called an SNRI. I might be wrong on that. So it helps with serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it helps with keeping serotonin in the brain and norepinephrine in the brain. Serotonin is what we use for the mood. Norepinephrine is what perks us up, which helps you focus. Wellbutrin is the same thing. It keeps more norepinephrine in the brain. Widely used Wellbutrin. Folks should know, if you do take Wellbutrin, that if you do stop that cold turkey or Effexor Prestige cold turkey, you will have massive migraines and increased chances of seizures. Do not stop your medicine cold turkey or take medicines without a doctor's advisement. I'm not a doctor of medicine. This is not advice. I'm just giving you some science and some background. But these are wonderful meds. And then if those fail, then we go into the other ones and you talk to your doctor and you figure it out. So back to an anxiety. Earlier, I talked about how, me and you might get an email or a text, or, something happens, job or money, or your mom stresses you out, whatever. And then your brain starts going.
Yeah.
It feels like some ADHD, but in actuality, it's anxiety. It feels like this scene that we just watched because your brain's going. It's more anxiety, more high emotions. When other ADHD people meet other ADHD people, it's quite fun. It's like you put on a shoe and you're like, this is a fucking comfortable shoe right here. This a good shoe right here. You know what I'm talking about, people. When your shoe fits good, it's like is it Cinderella?
It's Cinderella.
It's Cinderella.
I would love to see you on some glass heels.
You feel like the
big ass shoes.
Sexiest girl in the room, man. Cinderella. You get that right shoe. So those of you that are weird like me, you understand the shoe. Spence, what is it else? Something that feels good when you put it on?
What was it called?
I don't know. What else? What other things it just feels right?
I don't know, like a glove. Fits like a glove.
Unless it's OJ. Sorry.
Hey, if it don't fit,
Must
you
have
must
quit.
have quit.
Yeah, a glove. You could say like some of your hats, some of the people's clothing.
Pants.
Certain things fit just right.
Yeah.
It's like it's like when you put on your favorite shirt when you're a big boy and it makes you feel thin, but it doesn't shows off. Or maybe if you wear favorite yoga pants and it makes your tush look just right. Spencer's thinking, how do you know what it feels like? Don't worry about it.
And you know what? It's messed up because people at Lululemon, their first thing is like, "Hey guys, you have to try on the yoga pants just to know the sizing and just how they feel, And I could not find any big ass yoga pants to fit my legs, so I was like, I don't know what to do here. They feel nice, but only on my calves. So
I remember the first time I got I don't know what they are, the Nike compression shorts, the compression pants or whatever for like hiking and all that, because I don't want to get any ticks to get on me.
Those
and
are
stuff.
nice. I like those. I can do those. I can't do yoga pants. I can do those.
I feel like they're pretty close to yoga pants, aren't they, or no?
Pretty much. I guess so. They might be like a little bit thinner, I think.
Thinner, yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is I feel vivacious, voluptuous. I feel curvy.
You just stand in the mirror and just, do little moves.
Everything just feels tight. I just feel tight. I got the high booty bottom.
Looking like Gru from fucking Despicable Me. Damn, his ass is all the way up there.
Perfect example of ADHD here is having some fun. And when I meet someone like Spencer that feels and fits right, and when you can go 1, 1, 1, 1, and you keep one-upping, in a good way, not in a narcissistic way, that's when you find something that feels good, when you can have someone meet you and match you. I'm not saying that's what you want in a partner, because maybe your partner, you might overstimulate each other too much. Sometimes a lot of my ADHD people like people that are more calm and tranquil, because they can help ground them, so both of you even each other out. Mm-hmm. But with friends, it's nice to find other friends that you can meet on the same level and you can both get revved up into high RPMs. Mm-hmm. So, talked about some medication, some thoughts, some feelings, what's going on. Now I'm going to get on like how to help people, and then some more symptomologies for folks that are neurodivergent. So, Spence, you said people, you've met people with ADHD, like it's a very common thing. Me and you just before this talked about how it's like even more common than probably what it used to be.
Yeah, totally.
Any idea why you think that it might be more common than what it used to be?
I don't want to say it's like just like social media, but I think it helps. I think it helps a lot, because you just can't stay focused on one thing for a long time, and so like it's for example, right, if I go on Instagram and for one instant I could be sad and then just flick up a little bit, and then all of a sudden I can be happy in like an instant. And I think that just really messes with your mind, not being able to sit with one thing at a time. You're always constantly like moving and seeing and going through different emotions like clockwork. I just think that kind of just like that, just like a clockwork orange. But yeah, I think that's kind of the thing, is where I just think that, social media has kind of messed us up in a way that we can't stay focused on certain things. And obviously ADHD comes up a lot more frequently now. I bet you're going to see a lot more kids these days just have a lot more ADHD. The younger they are, they probably can't stay focused on shit. So,
yep. I think that's one of the main contributors. So there's a bunch of different contributors. I don't have all the science behind this.
Right.
But one of them is social media and cell phones. Cell phones are made to be addicting. There's an extreme amount of dopamine release. And so, with me, if I stop reading books for a while, which I haven't read a book in a while, other than like research studies, but now the doctorate's over, I want to get back to reading. And it is so hard to focus for longer than 30 minutes, 10 minutes. one page. I'm just like, Jesus, come on, Nas. Come on, Nas. And then you get used to it, and then you get better and better and better at reading, more focused. You can go longer durations. Social media has definitely one of the big issues on why folks are having shorter attention spans and need instant gratification. Me and you've looked at the data. We know that people are timing out within 3 seconds on social media, and you choose a different one. For podcasts, it's within 30 seconds. For YouTube videos, it's in between 9 and 30 seconds. But people just tune out because they go to the next one. And I do the same thing, right? I'm flicking through the videos, and if I don't like it in the first few seconds, no.
Yeah.
So it's part of it. Some of it, there's a lot of wonderful medications now, and there's a lot of people that are making it more and more successful, and they're having more and more offspring, and so it's more in the genetic pool.
I would have to say also, though, with that, I would also have to say that just I think the diagnosis overall, I think once people actually start diagnosing, and it becomes more prevalent, just in society as a whole, that's when people start kind of latching on. They're like, yeah, I have this, because sometimes people just go like, you know what, I might have a few symptoms of it. So I just completely have it, and then it kind of engulfs like a little bit more of their personality with that. But yeah, I also think that people who I think as long as more people have been, diagnosed with ADHD, a lot more people, you can see it's actually showing up in things now. Kind of like how, autism probably wasn't as prevalent as it was now, but now we see a lot of people kind of coming out who are neurodivergent and things like that. So
you're right. So you made a couple different parts in there.
Right.
To be more clear, is the diagnosis is better, and therapists and doctors are better to assess, and there's more. It's not as ableistic as before, as some of these doctors, these old school doctors that I was talking about, and so more and more people are qualifying for it, and now more people are feeling validated about it. Now you're hearing about it more on social media. Sports players, activists, big celebrities, big people. And so, not everyone is ADHD because everyone thinks they're ADHD, but a lot of folks are.
Right.
And so with that better practice, with the better assessing and diagnosing, you're seeing higher and higher rates because there's more understanding. Story time. Actually, this would be history time. As Spence, that cited my dissertation, autism in 2000 was seen as 1 in 250 had it. Fast forward 10 years, then it was like 1 in 100. Fast forward a few more years, then it was 1 in 70. Fast forward a few more years, 1 in 44, which it currently is. That's old data, though. Data from like 2016. That came out in 2019, 2020. We're thinking more autism is more like 1 in 20. 1 in 20. Maybe 1 in 10. And so ADHD is the same type of path. More and more diagnosing, more and more understanding, more and more validating, more and more access and services, better prescriptions and medications for certain things. So you're seeing the increase in prevalence because of many different factors. I mean, shit, I was on Ritalin 2nd grade. And yes, I had ADHD, but I was also very depressed and angry, and I wasn't getting a lot of attention. I mean, my father had just got put in prison, and I just wanted people to play with. What do I care about school? I just want to play and have fun, but I'm supposed to sit here. And then I realized that I was super smart than everyone. I realize that now, not then. That I was doing all my homework and figuring it all in my head, and then I would just goof off the rest of the time. But they had to force me to take the medication. It did make me shut up and lock in. But I never took it probably after like 3rd grade. Could have helped me, yes, but I didn't need it. And I don't need it now. I did take it. I have a lot of clients that take it and they do wonderful with it. If it was more disabling, then I probably would have had to take it. Could it have helped me throughout my college career? 100%. 100%. So there's no shame in the medication. I just bring up my story of having it in 2nd grade because there was multiple things that were going on. It was me also being autistic, me also being severely depressed and traumatized from what just happened. And it wasn't just specifically ADHD. They like to slap on the label of ADHD, and a lot of young folk that have a lot of issues at home. There's reasons why some of these kids are acting out. It's not all neurological. Sometimes little shits like me are being bad because it gets his attention. And some attention, bad attention, feels good because someone's actually looking at you. They might be yelling at you, but they're looking at you. Yes. Interesting days. So let's mosey on back to the different versions. So Dr. Amen thinks that there's 7 versions. The normal ADHD, I'm using normal incorrectly, but it's the pure ADHD, sorry, ADD, fucking it up, where it's just inattentive. It's inattentive ADHD. It's just mental. Then there's the ADHD with the legit H, the hyperactivity. So there's the first 2, inattentive and hyperactivity. Inattentive, hyperactivity. There's 2. You've got your lethargic one. You've got your one that mimics anxiety. You've got your one that mimics anger. You've got your one that mimics bipolar disorder. And then you got your obsessive one, your OCD one. My neurodivergent folks, I don't remember what fingers I just used. It's usually inattentive. And if they have the hyperactivity one, very easy to figure out. I can almost guarantee most of my neurodivergent folks have the OCD one, the little bit more obsessive. That's the one that I have. And then the anxious one. The lethargic one, not so much. The angry one, not so much. The bipolar one, and you don't see that much. So if you folks get hyper-focused and locked in and obsessive, it's part of your neurodivergence, but also be part of the ADHD. Interesting things to think about. It's all on the screener. Go ahead and check it out.
Hey, are you a nerd? Do you like pins? If you're like any of our followers and you said yes, you should check out our collaboration with Pinfinity. They have Power Rangers pins, Transformers pins, and for all of our bronies out there, My Little Pony pins. Go check out our Linktree or use our code DSP to get 20% off your Pinfinity order today.
Alrighty, and we're back after technical difficulties and that lovely ad.
Yeah, that's ADHD from our router.
Yep, like, I don't know what to do.
Squirrel! And shut off.
And bye. See you later.
Yeah. See,
all
that's
right.
when they happen, when they're trying to shut down brown people learning about stuff.
It's the government. It's the government trying to shut us down.
Government, they're trying to shut us down. That's why you got to donate, because they're trying to shut us down.
That's right. Hey, if you want to fight against the government,
if you want to fight against,
podcast.
The people. Are we the people? Who's the? If you want to fight against them,
and with that, I'm going to shut you up. At the end of that, please, you just got to talk about the 7 diagnoses of ADHD. What were you going to get into next?
So yeah, I was just trying to go over the 7 basics, man, and how it's mostly inattentive and hyper-focused, and how some of the meds that we talked about are wonderful. With myself, I think very fast, but I'm able to keep it all inside and not show it too much on the outside. I'm normally playing with my wristbands or toys or gadgets. During the podcast today, I was just ripping up this little tag from the new stuffed animal. Nice. I'm just playing with it, ripping it up, looking at the folds. That's all part of ADHD. Some folks will say it's self-stimming. Spencer's usually always playing with something too.
Yeah.
He's got a ball, or he's playing with a water jug that he's got, or like moving around, playing with his facial beard.
My facial hair. Skin.
Facial skin. This is a new one. I just got this one yesterday. Skin. This one's called Tiffany.
Oh my God. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. What's the problem?
We do not condone any violence.
Yeah. We should just put that in the beginning of the video, not right before the intro. Just be like, we do not actually think these things. Just don't worry about it. All right, we're just having fun here.
We're safe.
Yeah, just like at the beginning of every Jackass video.
Yes. Oh, we should have one of those.
Do not try any of these fucking mental health aspects.
Warning, we're both something.
There you go.
There you go. So let's switch again because we're gonna get into a ton of ADHD next time, and we'll get out of here. I'm sure all of you've heard this. ADHD, just try harder. You just try harder. Have you tried writing it down?
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried a planner? What's another one? I think those are the main basics that feel very stereotypical. Microaggressions. Routine is key. Planners aren't for everyone. I'm never keeping a fucking planner. I do have a calendar, though, my Google Calendar, that helps me out a lot. I write things down in my note tablets. I pre-send myself emails. Or if I tell a student, hey, I'm going to send you an email, I need to like write the shit out now. I'll at least need to put your name in the subject, and then I'll get to it later. Otherwise, I'm never going to get to it. I pre-warn most of my clients that, I might forget to send you this email, so remind me to send it to you. I love you to death. Doesn't mean I hate you. I just forget shit. What was your name again? There's certain ways to work with your own ADHD. For me, I kind of hate silence. So I have to have a TV show rerunning in the background, whether it's The Neighborhood right now, New Girl, The Upshaws, Friends, whatever it is. Something I've seen a million times. And then I can focus on my schoolwork. If I really need to focus, then I need to drink like half a cup of coffee. I need just a little bit of caffeine, not too much to give me a panic attack or make me anxious. There's certain ways when you're anxious and or ADHD to get you motivated. To get you, is what I like to call the foreplay of homework. Spencer's like, damn it. I haven't found a better word. Me and my clients keep trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think you're trying to find it. I think you're saying
really.
You're like, yeah, try it. I don't know. Dictionary. What is that?
You're very right.
Yeah, I know. I know. Because I know you.
Because everyone's like, ooh, foreplay. And I'm like, yeah, you all a little frisky as teenagers. You know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is. I know you don't do it, but I know you know what it is.
I know you don't do it, boy, but you need to start working out with your girl.
Don't stick it in.
But it's the thing. You need to be in the mood. You need to be wine and dine. Right? I'd like just a little nibble.
God, no.
No. Okay, I'll get back on track. So what is your warm-up? Same thing in athletics. So we can switch it real quick. What is the prelude? These are better words to use. But using that other word, it makes it funnier because it makes you think and remember, or a little bit kind of traumatizes you, thus you remember. I don't give a fuck, you remember.
You just say pre-workout routine. What is that? What is it?
It's like a prelude. It's your warm-up, right? Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Wow, you found it in like 5 seconds.
I did. I just like,
I know you do. I know you like it. I know.
I like it. We all gotta be in that mood, man, because if you ain't in the mood, you ain't doing shit. If I'm not in the mood, I'm not watching a certain TV show that I've been avoiding. I'm not doing anything that's too hard, that's too risky, that's anxious, that's new. Nah, I'm good. I got to make sure the moon and shit's aligned with the constellations and the retrograde and the Mercury's and I'm one of the snakes in the Venus trap. You know what I'm saying?
Snakes in the Venus trap.
I don't know. Snakes on a plane. I don't know.
How big do you think a Venus trap is?
It's big enough. I seen Batman. Batman
and the anacondas.
That was a terrifying movie. Yeah. That warm up is big for folks that are neurodivergent, that are ADHD. One of the main suggestions is to look at your diet to make sure that you're getting a lot of monounsaturated fats, aka avocados, fish oil supplements, extra virgin olive oil, peanuts, pistachios, things like that. Chickpeas. A lot of you love hummus out there. I know a lot of y'all appropriating my people's shit. I know you're doing it.
That chocolate hummus. What?
Chocolate hummus.
From Mo. Remember that?
Yes. Yes. The next thing is exercise. What? Specifically, 2 hours after exercise is when you're most efficient and most regulated. So your brain's distracted by all this other shit that it can actually focus on what you needed to focus on. Some people it's going to be music as a warm up. Some people it's going to be maybe reading something. Maybe you are going to dink around on your phone and then get to work. You need to figure out what works best for you. Do some Google searching and waste some time. Get lost in that wormhole. If you need to put some apps to avoid your apps on your phone, or if you need to delete YouTube off of your phone, there's certain things that you can do to prevent you from being too distracted. And then the biggest thing is, don't say I'm going to do all this shit immediately. It's going to set you up for failure. You start out small. I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. And then 2-minute break, 10 minutes, 2-minute break, 10 minutes, 2-minute break. Don't say I'm going to do my homework for 2 hours and not take any breaks. You're going to crash, you're going to fail, you're going to hate yourself, and then you're going to avoid all your homework. And you know you're doing it, you little shits.
Yeah.
Hey, this is your co-host Spencer, and I'm bringing you a special message from our collaborator, Silver Dollar Candles. They have great scents to go with great messages, just like Best Dad Ever, True Crime and Chill, and my personal favorite, When This Candle Is Lit, Give Me That. You can also make your own candle and message that fits you. So go use our link in our link tree to get your order placed with Silver Dollar Candles today.
Talking to you, audience.
I'm talking to you, Bobby, my illegitimate son.
Oh, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
You're in a nursing home now. Doesn't make sense.
I don't get it. How does that happen? So that's one thing I like to talk to a lot of my ADHD students about, clients about. There's also wonderful things called body doubling. So finding someone to hang out with or do it via Zoom, and just while you're working, they're working. I've done it with Colin. I've done it with other friends when they're doing homework in college. There's a bunch of ways to be creative, to get you to do things, to get you in the mood. And there's a bunch of things that you need to eliminate. And there's things that you can add, like exercise and diet. Study groups are sometimes beneficial for someone like me that wants to make everyone laugh. That's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really do my best quality work while sitting at my desk. I need to be like laying down on my tum and just grinding on my laptop. Figure out what works for you and do your best to go with it. What makes you comfortable will get you motivated. Then usually number one thing is figuring out why the hell you're anxious and avoiding things. And then you can create plans and execute those plans, find your routine and regimen, those of you on the spectrum, and just go with it. And if you fuck it up, which you will, because it's part of the addiction cycle process. Relapse is always part of it. Don't just fail everything. Don't just stop going to class because you missed one class. Get back on the horse. Do what you got to do. People so often spend, as soon as they fail or trip, they're so embarrassed that they can never go back and do anything. They're gone. Their brain's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't miss one class and then miss the whole semester. That's idiotic. It's irrational. Well, people know. People know. They're going to know. Man, people ain't paying attention to you, boy. You're too damn ugly. I'm joking.
I'll go back to being just too damn ugly. Too damn.
It helps. And when with this? We did a podcast on some ADHD symptoms from the episode Mom with Serena.
Mm-hmm.
ADHD can be a very beneficial thing at times. You could be ADHD because of trauma as well, anxiety. ADHD can be very protective. It can help you find good people, odd people, funny people. It can make you funny. It can make you funny looking. It could make life exciting. It can make you highly intelligent and learn more and more because you're always not satiated. You're always hungry for more. It can be a great strength. So don't be just sad because someone gave you the diagnosis. Don't be mad because of it. Don't be so ashamed. Embrace it. Start to learn with it and work with it and accept who you are. Acceptance is always the best thing. Then you just build skills. You get crazy people like me in your corner to teach you. You make some friends like Spence that got a little touch of autism and ADHD, and then you just roll with it.
Just a little touch.
Little touch. Boop. I think it's the worst part is that all my students, man, they hate themselves so much for some of these diagnoses. And that's the worst part, is when you hate yourself because of something that you can't change. It's like hating yourself because you're brown or black or because, your hair is this way or your body type's this way. It just, you can't change some of these things, man.
Right.
It doesn't help you to be so angry. Start working with your stuff, skills. Spence has talked about it a million times. Find people in your corner. Find the resources. He just had a story the other day. Find resources, find help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be defeatist. Don't feel the victim thing. Feel your feelings and emotions. Get up on that horse. Do what you got to do. As we say, get that shit out the mud.
Right out the mud.
From the bottom. All right, boss man. You can add whatever 2 cents you got and then take us away.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun on Thursday once we talk a little bit more about ADHD with Ron. We're going to be talking with Ron.
Senior Ron.
Senior Ron. So that'll be it. Thank you everybody for watching as he puts a weird crown on his head. So thank you so much. Go check out all of our collaborators: Bub's Naturals, Cure Hydration, Silver Dollar Candle Company, Pinfinity, Two Nerds Candle Company. Go check out all of them, and you can get 20% off everyone but Silver Dollar Candle. So go check everyone out and get 20% off. Why not? I actually just got my Red Ranger in. So you know what? Go get your pins. Go get your pins because pins are great. But yeah, and then also
real quick, shout out to the Two Nerds Company. Spencer's got a commercial y'all gonna hear. 10% they're giving back to STEM, to helping women in STEM. The candles are awesome. They smell fantastic. The two people that run it are just the nicest souls. And I'm really, really excited and proud that their commercials will go live on this one first. I'm excited finally to work with someone for real. So please go check them out. You get 20% off. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, please go check them out and get some candles, because who doesn't love some candles, right?
Smell great, yeah.
There you go.
I ain't killed no one in 2 weeks.
Not even gonna go through it. Nope. Thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it. And then also go check out our self-help links in our link tree. A bunch of great stuff like apps and a bunch of great other resources. So go please check that out. And if you do use any of our resources, please leave a tip, because Naz put a lot of work into it. So
donations.
Yes. And with that, I'm Spencer. That's Naz. Different Spectrums Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love, peace, and remember, take care of yourself.
Or don't.
And that's up to you.
Bye.
Bye.